A 5-pound AR? Let's check it out. The AR-15 is light, handy, it's a lot of fun to shoot, the ammo is pretty reasonable, and because of that, it's one of America's favorite rifles. In fact, one of the top selling rifles in the country. But there are so many companies that are making the AR-15, and really, to be honest with you, a lot of the parts that have been made and a lot of the accessories, you know, they've already been done. It's just rehashing the same old thing. This is a rifle right here that is way out of the norm, and this is the 2A Armament BLR-16. But what's really cool about this rifle is that it only weighs 5 pounds, and which is incredible. When you pick this rifle up, it's just phenomenal how light the rifle is. And so we're going to take a look at the reasons why this rifle is so light. But one of the great things is it's not light as in weak. It's very strong, very solid system. First thing we're going to do is make sure the gun is unloaded and chamber clear. Now, 2A Armament is not new to the AR-15 industry. In fact, they've been making parts for the AR for a long time. This is their first offering as a solid rifle. There are some really cool features to this rifle, beside the fact that it's super lightweight. But one of the things about it being so lightweight is it's so easy to handle. I mean, at the range, firing rounds, you know, it just really made it a pleasure. I'm used to shooting the AR-15, and guys, to be honest with you, my favorite rifle has been the BCM Recce. It weighs only 6 pounds, it's really handy and lightweight. But going to a 5-pound rifle, it makes a world of difference. Now I'm going to break out my old-timey scale. This is an old one. And it says 5 pounds on the 2A Armament website, and it's coming in at just barely 5 pounds. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of claims about what things weigh and the size and length and everything else, but this is actually 5 pounds. Now, the core of this rifle is the receiver set, and this is the Balios lower and upper receiver, made from 70-75 T6 aluminum, which is premium and mil-spec. There are so many cuts to this lower. It is a CNC machined billet lower and upper, and so that gives you really good strength. The pockets, and you can see these pockets cut out all in these areas, but yet they're ribbed to keep the strength up. Anywhere that anything can be relieved, they've done it. They have drilled out titanium pins both for the pivot pin and for the takedown pin, so that really again reduces weight. The forward assist has been removed, which really typically is pretty useless. And then we have the shell deflector, which has been minimalized to make it really small. The rod that captures the dust cover, it has been captive, so there's no E-clip right here to lose. And it's actually retained with the Freefloat Handguard. Now, the great thing is I do have an upper and lower receiver, which I'm getting ready to do a build from. And so I wanted to go ahead and just show that. We can get a little bit more into the specifics instead of showing it on the rifle. The upper and lower fit is really exceptional. I mean, even the pivoting here, it just really locks in solid. And that really gives a good tight fit, as you can see. One of the things that I really love about the lower receiver here is the cuts here, the flared cuts. I mean, those are really generous, and it makes the magazine really easy to insert. Then also, as you can see how thin the receiver gets. Of course, the trigger guard, and you've got relief cuts here that is, of course, built in, which makes it really nice and strong. You can see the rear here of the receiver, how it's cut. You can see the cut made right here. It's at an angle, and this really helps with wear from your charging handle coming back and forth. They do feature a tensioning screw right here, and this locks down. You can tension this up for the upper and lower to really have a tight fit. Really, this already fits extremely tight. A real nice feature is the detent and spring for your takedown pin is drilled and tapped. And so you can actually insert this before you put on your extension receiver tube or buffer tube, which makes it really nice. Also, where your bolt release is, this is also drilled and tapped with a pin. So there are no roll pins on here, which really is one of the biggest pains for the AR-15 build. And of course, with the integral trigger guard, you've removed that roll pin as well. But you can see the really nice lightning cuts, the pockets. Every area can be, where material can be removed has been removed. And then where your hammer and trigger pins are, it's beefed up just a little bit to give you a little more support. One thing that I really thought was a kind of neat design feature is right here at the front. This actually matches the Magpul PMag. That's pretty cool. And of course, 2A Armament logo right here. Now here's your standard Milspec Louver. And you can already see a lot of the area that's been removed to make this really slick. This is 8.8 ounces with the trigger guard. This is 6.8 ounces. So you've got a 2-ounce difference right off the top. And then with the upper receiver, according to 2A Armament, it's a 1/4 pound reduction in weight for your Berlioz system. And guys, these can be ordered separately. Now the Picatinny rail system all the way across, you can see that it has been relieved. I mean, each of these have been pocketed out, which again, it just relieves weight in every area. It's all T-marked, and this is actually engraved right in between the slots. But what's really cool is that this is a solid system with the BL rail, the Freefloat Handguard. This looks like a monolithic rail, but it's not. And one of the big deals with that is the 45-degree angles which this is set into actually takes the Freefloat Handguard and presses it against the receiver. So you're going to have a solid fit all the way across. Now this one does come with a titanium barrel nut. They do offer a aluminum barrel nut as well, but that's going to be another weight reduction. The rail is 1.5 inches in width, so it's really fine for the grip. I mean, it really molds to the hand very well. The interior diameter is 1.3 inches, just so you'll know for those who want to sink in their muzzle devices or if you have a suppressor. They are using their titanium gas block, which really, again, reduces the weight. This is a mid-length gas system. Now, it's difficult to tell, but the barrel is a pencil profile barrel, so it's a really thin barrel. It is 416R stainless, and it's 1 in 8 twist. Now, it has the T3 titanium muzzle brake. This actually has 2 different systems. There's a baffling system right here at the rear, which actually keeps the muzzle down, and then out at the front ports we have brakes here for compensation. So these brakes stabilize the rifle, and these keep muzzle rise down. There is also some flash hiding properties with this muzzle brake, and up to a 16-inch barrel. This is adaptable to Gemtech suppressors right here, and this actually acts as a baffle as well. But guys, this muzzle brake is extremely effective. As you can see, the muzzle rise is almost nothing, and it's just it really makes this gun comfortable to shoot, especially considering the weight. At only 5 pounds, this is really an effective muzzle brake or compensator, which is really both.
That is, without question, the lightest AR-15 I've ever shot. That little Trijicon sight on it, it's absolutely perfect for this lightweight rifle. The rifle is just so light, ridiculous. All the machine work on it is phenomenal. They did an absolutely outstanding job with this rifle. 2A Armament.
The bolt carrier has been relieved. A lot of good cuts in here to make it really trim and slimline. You will notice this large little baffle on the end, and this is an aluminum baffle right here. Of course, it works just like the M16 bolt carrier group. This is going to actually reduce the weight. It weighs 10.9 ounces. This is black nitrided, but it's the QPQ process, which is quench, polish, quench. And this really increases the corrosion resistance of these bolt carrier groups. And with the black nitride finish, it makes it really slick. Of course, it's staked properly. It has an 8620 machine body, and then the bolt is 9310 machine bolt. These have been MPT tested and they are cryogenically treated. So the process that goes into making this bolt carrier is just really excellent. They do have a new system coming out that's really different, and we'll be looking at that coming up. Now the fire control group is of special note. It is one of the ALG Defense ACT triggers, which is the Advanced Combat Trigger. Very similar to Milspec, so you don't lose any reliability. It is a 5.5 pound trigger pull. One of the cool things is the trigger has a boron nickel finish to it, and then the hammer disconnector and your trigger and hammer pins have a nickel Teflon finish, which make it really durable. So it's a really smooth trigger. It removes all the grittiness and the sharpness that is typical for your Milspec trigger, but again, you don't lose reliability. It does come with the BattleLink Minimalist stock, which is a really cool stock system, very lightweight, and the Myad Magpul pistol grip, along with the BCM Gunfighter charging handle, and the ever-reliable PMag. Rifle needs to be able to hit what you're aiming at using a Vortex 1x6 HPR 223 60 grain VMAX. And a really nice group there. That was my first group. Second group came in really tight. You know, these guns are really made as shooters. And to me, really, for a 3-gun competitive gun, this would be incredible. But guys, I'm telling you, for a go-to rifle, with the weight and how handy this rifle is, you know, it's just a great system. Now, of course, you can go to the 2A Armament website and find out any additional details, because there's so much about this rifle. I'm sure I missed some points. It's just really an incredible rifle. You know, I do a lot of builds. You know, I've seen a lot of things with the ARs, and I'll tell you guys, this is a really, truly exceptional rifle in a really flooded market. One of the things, though, about this rifle is the price. And because of all the workmanship, guys, you got to know that all these cuts, just in the Picatinny and the reliefs and the titanium, and with the billet lower and upper receiver, you know, there is a price that's a little bit higher than your typical AR-15. And the manufacturer suggested retail price on the BLR-16 is $2,177. You know, that is very high for a AR-15. But guys, you got to understand what you're getting. If you want something that's exceptional, that has a lot of features. And you know what's really funny is you'll buy that $500 rifle and then you'll add $500 worth of accessories to it. And you'll still have a basic, cheaper barrel, cheaper bolt carrier rifle. Honestly, when 2A Armament got in touch with me and wanted me to take a look at the rifle and the price, I thought, great, you know, super, we'll look at it. I'm honestly impressed with this rifle. In fact, to the point where I've been trying to figure out a way to sell a couple of things so I can buy this rifle, because it's really that much far and away above most of the AR-15s that I've been dealing with. You know, the weight, the quality, it's just exceptional. So the 2A Armament BLR-16, fantastic rifle. And guys, if you can afford it, I would highly recommend it. And I want to thank HPR for sponsoring the ammunition for this shoot with the VMAX 60 grain. Hyper clean ammunition, great stuff. The 2A Armament BLR-16, thumbs way up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Now, of course, buried into the receiver, now buried under the Freefloat Handguard is their titanium. Now buried under the, what is that? It's a, and then Gemtech, of course, Gemtech suppressors. This is, but it's a QC. It has the QP. It has the Q, and then the trigger and the no.
That is nice. I would give it 3 thumbs up, but I only got 2 thumbs, so.